Hi, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Ask Alan Anything. We're glad you're with us. And as a reminder, you're always welcome to send us emails in advance or during the show at bourgeoismedia@outlook.com. We'll respond to them as quickly as we can. Usually, we'll save them for either the next show or shortly thereafter. That way, we can properly get the answers for you that you need. Today, we're going to be talking about how to do a pre order. Now, this follows the last two, three episodes that we've been doing, which is talking about getting your book published. And now that you've written it, you've gone through the editing, the proofing, the graphic artists, the designs, got it set up to get ready to be published. Now comes the hard work, marketing. It's the toughest part of it all. And we want to make sure that we give you as much information as we possibly can. This will not be a single episode type show. Marketing will take several different shows, but we want to give you as much information as we can. But before I go too much further, I want to let you know that, yes, I do run a couple of organizations that help with this. One of them is called the Authors Marketing Guild. We support authors and help educate them from around the world. One of the events we do is called the Authors Marketing Event. It's held annually at the end of July each year. And you're more than welcome to participate with that and come in and learn from the professionals, learn from fellow authors what works for them, what doesn't work. It may or may not work for you, but it's a great source of information. If you can't come into Texas or wherever we're holding our event, you can always check us out online. We're resetting our campus for the new website, but you can go to campus.authorsmarketingguild.com or just go to authorsmarketingguild.com, click on Authors Marketing Event, and you'll see the online campus there. Give us, until about the 1st of September to make sure we have our classes in line. We're going to be adding more classes during the month of September. There should be close to at least 30 to 40 classes on there from actual events, so you'll actually hear them speak, you'll actually hear questions being asked and stuff like that. It's a great way to interact and to learn from the professionals who know what they're doing, okay? All right, so that's my shameless plug. But it's a good organization at $50 a year to belong to. AuthorsMarketingGuild.com is well worth it, and we do help authors around the world in a lot of ways. So it's not just about the education, but the support, the marketing, all those tools that we give, do, etc. So let's go on. How to do a pre-order. Now, I've written this out because it is a lot of information, so forgive me if it looks like I'm reading, because I am. While I know a lot of this, I want to make sure I don't miss anything and hopefully give you as much information as we can in this episode. So why should you as an indie author consider doing a pre-order? Simple. To build the impact of the release of your new book. If you're allowing yourself 3 to 6 months of promotion before the book is officially released, you're building the hype. You're getting the reviews. You're doing everything necessary to help make it a successful event. Just like when Stephen King comes out with a new book. Usually it's 6 months to a year. People already know it's getting ready to come. Little hints, little drops, little information are coming out all the way up to the release. And then all this press is being done prior to the release so that everybody's ready to go and people are excited about it. They want the book. They're lined up. They've got the pre-orders in. They want that book. That's exactly what you should be doing. Getting the hype, getting the interest, getting the build, getting all that excitement for your book out there ready to go. That's why indie authors need to be doing it, just like the big houses and everything. Now, granted, you can't afford it to do what they do, but a lot of information is easy to do. It's simple groundwork, simple legwork that will get you to that point. So there are many aspects to consider when doing a pre-sale, and the most important one is getting as many people to know about your book as you possibly can. Get them excited and wanting to know the book is available and wanting them to buy the book. So if you've been doing a lot of what we've been teaching over the periods of time, go through and actually, you should have been promoting and talking about your book from the moment you started writing it. It doesn't have to be a great deal of information, but just enough to start building that interest, start getting people wanting to learn more about it and stuff. This particular session will be talking about the key steps to creating and implementing a pre-order program that helps you succeed in many levels. Okay, this includes 1, setting a release date; 2, how do you process your pre-orders; 3, advertising the pre-order; and 4, pre-order dates. Okay, this is actual pre-sale dates. Those are all very important things that we're going to be talking about. For you as an indie author, the first and most important one is building a war chest that pays off so you can do more marketing with the least amount of financial impact. Thus, by doing a pre-order program, you can take your time to create the buzz and hype necessary to build upon the sales, thus your profit if you do it right. We're going to be talking about Amazon as always, and we're going to also talk about other options because it's about you making the money back. It's not about big corporations making the money because they're going to regardless, but you need to make the money because you're going to be spending a lot of money marketing and building the hype for your sales, not only the pre-order, but afterwards as well. And that's really critical that you're getting the money back because you're going to be spending that money. You want to make sure you're getting something back. It's not a total drain on your finances. So you've got to think really good about that, okay? So let's start with setting a date. Indie authors tend to rush their books to press and release so they can begin to make the money from their investment. This is where 99% of the authors fail. And it's true. People rush to get the book done, but they don't promote it, they don't hype it, they don't talk about it, they don't do press release, they don't do reviews until after the fact. And by then, they've lost the interest, and they've lost their opportunity to make money. You want to take time in creating the buzz for your new book. The ideal situation is to get your book done in an ARC, which means Advanced Reader's Copy, ARC, Advanced Reader's Copy. This is done after all the beta testers and the final edits are done. The ARC is what you will use to send out for press reviews, fellow author reviews, and most importantly, bookstores to get the buzz started on a new book. Not too long ago, I was at an event that was about the pre-release books, getting the bookstores to have a copy in their hand, an ARC copy, so that the people will be reading it, so that they will be getting excited about it and order it. So when it's time for it to actually go on sale, they have their copies there, or they've gotten their pre-orders done through that store, whatever. Same thing with libraries. Every year, there's a library conference somewhere because the publishers are getting out there, getting those ARC copies into the hands of the readers, the librarians, so that they can build the interest. Having a librarian review is great. Having them talk about the book before it comes out or right when it comes out is great. Same with the bookstores. Having them talk about before and during. If they really like the book, they will help promote it in their store. They will want to promote it. They will want to sell it. So that's what the ARC is all about, is getting those copies into the hands before the release date. Okay? The ideal situation is 3 to 6 months before the release date. This should give you enough time to get the reviews back, add them to your new cover, and be ready for the release date. Having the reviews will also be critical for readers and bookstores to see the quality of your work and to get excited enough to purchase a copy. And we were talking about the ARCs, here, and so getting that out to the reviewers, Kirkus, Library Journal, your local press reviewers, bloggers, whoever, getting it out before the release date is critical so that they've read it, they have reviews. You can use those reviews if they're good, you can work with them, you can help build your press so that when it gets closer and closer to the release date, you're putting that press out there. For example, if you got a review from Stephen King and a fellow author who said they loved the book, he did it forward or whatever, that's huge. It could be just as important if it's a smaller, unknown author who's in your same genre. If they love their book, your book, and they're talking about it, that helps. Having people in your same genre reviewing the book, fellow authors, that's very good stuff to have. So keep that in mind. All right, so you've got a release date set in mind. So how are you processing your pre-orders, okay? Most indie authors want to make as much money as they possibly can. This is, It's all about the money getting back into our hands. We've worked, we've created something, we want to get paid for it. And that's reality. And it's fair. There's nothing wrong with that. Okay? Thus, they will process the orders themselves on their website, in person, etc. However, when you do that, you could actually be missing out on the ability to report your sales figures to organizations that matter. These are the ones like the American Booksellers Association. Amazon just recently, summer of 2019, started their top 10 list in certain countries, and they're expanding it out over a period of time as they go through the testing of it and stuff. So those pre-orders add up to that release date. They don't add up prior to, they add up to, okay? So when you have the release date, they're added into the sales for that particular week. If they are large enough and you've done it in the right type of organization, you can then get on a top 10 list, which makes a difference for people, other bookstores, other libraries, other places to learn about your book. So you're adding to the credibility, you're adding into the momentum. So that's why it's important. So by you taking the sales on your website, yeah, you're going to make some money, but you're hurting yourself also in the long run. So you've got to look at how you're doing the pre-sales, how you're working with the different options to best do it. If you want to do a pre-sale specifically with one bookstore that reports to the ABA and the others, that's perfect. That's great, as long as you're making some money on it. You know, if they're just getting 80% of the sale, you're not doing too well there, okay? You need to be getting pretty much 70 to 80% of the sale, and they get 20 to 30%, okay? Yeah, they've got their fees that they've got to cover, their manpower they've got to cover, and that's only fair to get a percentage. But you need to be getting at least 70. I know most bookstores are going to give you 60, but you got to really push. Hey, you're being the exclusive person to handle my pre-orders, you know, so let's go 70. You know, it's well worth it. They're not having to do a whole lot of extra work if it's worth it, because most of it's being done online. And then you're doing a big sale there, big book signing there, where people are coming in to pick up their books on a particular day, particular time. They may be bringing somebody in, or they may go ahead and pick up an extra copy, or other people are hearing about it. So that's to their advantage just as much as it is to you. So keep that in mind. And of course, you hear these comments, oh, I won't sell enough books to be on that list. Is the common response for a lot of authors, and I get that. Okay, so let's say you don't sell enough for the New York Times bestseller list. I mean, that's a lot of copies. You'd be surprised, though, sometimes, depending on what other books are being released at that same point, and that's something you need to look at, that may not need to be a huge amount of sales to be on that list, okay? There are some book releases that haven't hit those lists at first, but because of the hype and the talk, they get on top 10 lists down the road, because all of a sudden they have one week that does really great on sales because of all the hype that's been going on, and it becomes a must-read type book, even though it might have been on the market 3 months, 6 months previously. All of a sudden it just got big, and boom, it's on that top 10 list. I mean, Oprah's been good for that in the years before, and other people have been good for that, where a book may have been out for a little bit, and all of a sudden it hits their interest, and they've read it, and they love it, and they talk about it, and boom, it's up there. It's on that list. So while your initial sales may not be that great, don't worry about it. Keep building the hype. That's what the pre-order, the pre-process, and the marketing is all about, okay? Now, Andy Lecter is a member of the American Booksellers Association, which is the indie bookstores, okay, and the Mountain Plains indie bookstores. So there's two different top 10 lists. You could actually go with Andy Lecter bookstore, and they give great discounts back to the authors. You can get up to 80% of the book sale for just having your books on their site. Plus, you're also learning from them about marketing tools and stuff like that. So keep that in mind. So it's a double win on that respect. But they report the sales. They work with you. They help with processing of the orders and stuff like that. They get all that shipping done, the mailing labels and all that stuff pulled together for you. So all you have to do is order the books, have them on hand at your place, autograph them, take what they sent you, and ship them out. So it's a great way to build up and get the hype going, so that hopefully you can get on one of those type of lists that, again, doesn't require tens of thousands of sales. It could be 1,000 sales in 1 week, or it could be 10,000 sales in 1 week, depending, again, on what other books are being released and what other genres and stuff. So keep that in mind, okay? All right, so now we're talking about the advertising of the pre-order, okay? This is the opportunity and what goes into this part of the program, okay? Yes, you have built a following, small or large. If you have been collecting information from people you meet and have sold some books to, you should have an email list to use, a Facebook following, a Twitter followers, Instagram followers, Pinterest followers, LinkedIn followers. All of those social media outlets help you, okay? Each of these people is now a valuable avenue to promote your book. And it's true. If you already have one book out, and yeah, you have done the rush to print, and now you're doing a year's worth of marketing to promote it and stuff like that, you can, hopefully, you have learned from somebody, including Authors Marketing Guild, how to get an email list going. You want to know who's buying your books and stuff like that. So if you've been building that email list and you've let them know and you've kept in touch with them that, hey, you've got a new book getting ready to come out, you've done a little teasing of it and stuff like that through the process of developing it and everything. It's gone, you've got the art copies, you're ready to go and all that stuff. That's valuable information. Same with those tweeters, social media followers. If you've been engaging people and they've been building your list that way, then you've got a potential office. But keep in mind, and I say this constantly, and you've probably heard me on other videos saying this, do not go in your social media system and say, hey, my book's out, please buy it. That's not the way to do it. You need to build towards it. You need to give those hints. You need to be interactive. Yes, when it gets time to that actual buying period, you can put the little notes out there. Hey, this pre-sales are getting ready. We're going to do it from this date to this date. Here's a link. Hopefully you've had links on all the things you've been sending out so people already know about your website. So it's automatic. Hey, I'll click on the link and check it out. I get to read a free sample chapter, whatever it is, okay? All right, so create ad sheets, okay? Now ad sheets are the information sheets that are necessary for bookstores and things of that nature so that they know all the information, the ISBN, retail, page count, genres, cover, sales pitch, author bio, author picture, all that stuff. It's a lot of information, but it's not that difficult to do. Authors Marketing Guild shows you how to do it or works with you and does it inexpensively for you, but a lot of your publishers should already be doing it for you, so use that information. Okay. Then give the dates that the pre-sale is valid for. Okay. During this time, you are also offering something special to the buyers. You want to give them a reason to buy your book. Yes, it's a great book, and that should be enough, but it's not. Did you do a discount? Are you offering a special swag item? Is it a limited edition, which we talked about in the last video? All those little things add up to make the value greater for someone to buy the book, especially if you're choosing not to go a normal route. Say, as we talked about a moment ago, if you're going through one of the bookstores, okay, you want to create a little package for them so that when they show up to get the book, they have something really neat about it, okay? Those are the things that you need to look at, okay? Swag is a great thing if it's not the typical stuff, and bookmarks are considered typical, so you don't want to do that. Yeah, you can throw them in, but that's not part of the package, okay? All right, make this promotion special for one main reason: to create a bigger desire to buy your book, okay? That's why all that extra little stuff is so important. You don't have to have all that extra little stuff when you're out there selling the book on bookstores or online or at book festivals. That's not necessary. Hopefully they're buying the book at that point because it's already out and they're already interested. But that pre-order, you want to build as much pre-order for those sales, for that potential top 10 list that can be so critical. And even if you do it through a bookstore, you want to make it valuable for them so that they'll be willing to reinforce and promote it and stuff, okay? Do you know what swag means? It's sales will accelerate with goodies. And it's so true. These are goodies, can range from bookmark buttons, posters, or anything that can create and be clever with, okay? But whatever it is, it must be unique to the pre-sale only. Don't give away something during the pre-order that will be given away at another time. Like I said, bookmarks is a perfect example of that. You don't want to do that. Limited edition books is great. If you do a small amount, like 100, which is what I recommend, then anything after 101 is a regular book. All those regular release sales, those are regular books. So if you've done the ARC and that first 100, and you consider those as your ARC as well, those are limited, those are special, those are very critical. Those become valuable, okay? All right. I'm starting to run out of time, so forgive me if I kind of rush a little here, but I want to make sure I get as much of this in as I can. The next, this step can be done with while you're writing on the reviews, waiting on the reviews. Plan it out and know exactly what you want to give away with the book during pre-orders, okay? Then create your ad images that relate to this. You can also create a web page so people see what you're getting in the pre-order, which hopefully you've done. Okay, you've got the book already listed on your website. Hopefully you've created a special pre-order page that people know, hey, this is all the goodies you're getting in this package, and it's not costing you anything extra. It's all part of it. You can charge a little extra if you want to do something really nice, but it's not necessary. If you do one or two items that you're not going to do the rest of the time, that's fine. It's inexpensive, and it's covered in the sales of your books and stuff, okay? Again, that special edition I've mentioned, those 100 is definitely a good thing to do. All right, so pre-sale dates. Here's another thing, okay? Let's say you have an April 1st release date plan, okay? And March and April is a good time to start with the new releases. You send your ARCs out in January, so the review should be coming in by March, if not sooner, depending on how you've done it and who you've done it with. If those are on time, you now can recreate your cover to include the best reviews. Again, that goes on back cover as well. You can also now begin to use the reviews in your advertisements. Okay? If you have tied in with a bookseller to get the pre-sales counted, then they will know how to add the sales into the calculation for the first week of actual general public sales, which we talked about. So that's really important to include that. This talk is one of the critical aspects of getting additional sales in the first week of release. Again, we've talked about that. Combine that with pre-sales, and you could end up with a huge number that moves you to a top 10 list of some sort, depending on who you've tagged in with and what their system is. Okay. And keep in mind, Amazon is not always going to be a great source for that top 10, because you never know who else is releasing. Out of 1 million books a year being published, you've got a lot of competition on that small range. And those people are not reporting to the ABA or to the New York Times sellers or any of those places. They've got their nose too far up in the air to really consider that, okay? So you've got to consider that. You've got to look at where those sales are going and who's processing them. Yes, I know Amazon's the biggest bookstore in the world, but you know what? They don't have to be. You can change that. And I keep pushing that issue. You can take that away from Amazon. You don't have to give Amazon everything, okay? They should be earning your sales. They shouldn't be taking it for granted. Anyways, we'll save that for another one. Okay, no book is ever guaranteed success, but when you work the system in the proper way, your chances of success increase. Even if it's not with the first book, the second, 6th, 12th, 100th, whatever it is, that adds to your growth. You're building up a following. It's so critical that way, okay? Dedication, great writing, and planning ahead make a world of difference for all the success of your book. So when you're planning your particular dates of the sales, 2 things to really keep in mind. Paydays. The 1st, the 15th, Fridays. How many Fridays are in that period of time? I always recommend at least 2 Fridays, preferably the 1st through the 15th, and have 2 Fridays within that time range. Those are paydays. Those are times when people generally have more money to spend versus during the non-payday period. So focus in on those And also set up your marketing accordingly, okay? Don't ignore the off times, but bump it up during the payday times, okay? All right. What about other opportunities that make pre-sales great? Publishers have the money to do a lot of their extra special events and programs. Indie authors most of the time simply can't afford to compete. Publishers can say, hey, we'll bring in, we'll pay for the airfare, the hotel for author X to be on your show or talk show or whatever. We'll give you X number of books for that audience and stuff. That's something they can do. You can't necessarily do it unless you've got some good deep pockets, and I'd love to meet you. But for the average people, you still need to look at your local markets and see what type of on-screen advertising you can do, meaning can you get into talk shows that are local and stuff, local news programs? Is it something that's topical to your area? Those are important things to consider, okay? All right. Again, like I mentioned before, you have Indie Lecture Store to help you through that as far as the sales and the ABA and all that fun stuff. All right, pretty much that's about it. I'm going to go through these last few paragraphs for you. One additional item for pre-orders done through the Indie Lecture Store is the opportunity to have free library notice sent out about the new book, okay? They send out roughly about 5,000 notices to an email list of librarians that they've built over years that help get promotion out there about you. So even if you can't attend or can't afford to have a lot of books at a library conference event, or you haven't planned properly for that type of stuff, at least they can help you with that as far as getting it out via email and stuff. This gives the librarians an opportunity to learn about the book and to be part of the pre-order program. As an indie author myself, I fully understand the need to watch every penny. I am not a rich man. I spend all my money into my organizations and give it right back into the system, the nonprofits I run, and all that stuff. So it's not like I have a lot of money sitting on the shelves waiting to be spent on promoting books and stuff. So while you're trying to get the most out of the opportunities, for your exposure, figure every which way you can do it. Okay. There's a radio show called Indie Beacon Radio. You can get a commercial on there for $35. It runs on, I believe, 2 weeks, which is 6 shows, and then it remains on the shows for the indefinite period of time that the program is up and running, which could be years. So out of the few thousand people that are watching the show over a period of time, a short period of time, over a period of years, you could have thousands of people seeing it and seeing the commercial, which is great promotion for you and for your books. So keep that in mind. It's an inexpensive way to promote who you are and what you're doing, okay? Look at all the different opportunities out there. Get on radio shows, promoting it ahead of time. We talked about that last, and we'll talk about it again. Look, map it out. You've got to map it out. I don't know how else to say it. Plan your release. Do the pre-orders. Get it all mapped out 3 to 6 months before release date, so you have built the hype. If you've been writing and promoting it throughout that process, you're building the hype. You're getting people interested. You're building the email list. You're building the followers on social media. You're doing everything to get people wanting to know more about you and your book. They say approximately for every 1,000, maybe 10 people will buy a book. So that means you need 1 million followers, to possibly get 10,000 sales. It can be done, but you've got to be working it. It's not all about writing the book and getting a great book written and then just putting it out there and hoping somebody buys it. You really have to market it. So with that in mind, we're going to stop right here. We've talked about the pre-order process. We'll talk more about marketing in the next episodes. Again, thank you for watching. As always, you can send your questions to me at bourgeoismedia@outlook.com. Look into the website authorsmarketingguild.com. For $50 a year, they give you lots of promotion and they educate you through the process. You learn more and more and more that helps you grow. And that's what it's about. Having a team to help you Not a team that you're paying to do all the work, but to help you. That's what's important. Thank you for watching and have a great day. We'll see you soon.
Authors, do you know the true cost of being published? In the Author's Revolution workbook, BL & Bourgeois gives you hands-on tools to use and to understand the true cost of being published. He will also give you information about low-cost or free programs that are designed to help you market your book. BL & Bourgeois has been helping hundreds of authors since 2011, educating them on how to better market and sell their books. Buy the Author's Revolution workbook exclusively at indielector.store